If I could go back, I'd probably wish that I'd done Pokemon instead. Welcome back to another video, guys. Today we're going to be talking about why you should invest in Pokemon cards. Before we begin, I'd like to highlight this comment from a subscriber. If you have a kind comment, please leave it down below and it may be featured in my next video. I also want to start off with, this is not a rip on other trading cards. I do invest a little bit in other trading cards as well. I'm just telling you my opinions on why I prefer Pokemon over the other ones. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. There probably won't be a lot of editing. If you guys like this kind of content, please consider subscribing. Let's go ahead and get into it. So when it comes to investing in trading cards, there's many avenues that you can go. There's the more risky stuff, so the newer stuff that just came out in the past couple years. So we have Dragon Ball, One Piece just came out. We also have My Hero. What else? There's also MetaZoo. So a lot of these trading cards, they may be up and coming, but the question is, will they survive? A lot of trading cards that make it to market actually don't survive. There's a number of things that can happen, and it is concerning that the majority of some of these are printed by one company. I think it's Bandai, so that's just a little bit concerning. In case something were to happen to Bandai, these TCGs may be affected. And then there's the other end of the spectrum where you have the TCGs that have been around for a long time. So you have things like Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, and Pokemon. Before I get into these, I just again would like to say I'm not bashing on any of them. I do invest in all of the TCGs pretty much. I have a little stake in a lot of them. So when it comes to Magic the Gathering, let's just say they had a really good system. They had a really good system down, and for some reason that midlife crisis caused a lot of drama this past year. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. A lot of things that investors and collectors thought were gonna be basically unattainable for the general public ever again have started to surface again, and that caused a lot of panic. That caused a lot of investors to lose confidence in Hasbro. And honestly, things have calmed down a little bit, but I'm still not 100% sure what's gonna happen to Magic because there's just so much uncertainty right now. And thing is, the market hates uncertainty. Uncertainty is probably the number one thing that drives people away from investing in certain assets. So I mean, Magic, I don't know what their game plan is. I don't think a lot of people know what to expect from them, but you know, it's definitely something to keep your eyes on. It's calmed down a little bit, but I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen Alpha Investments. Rudy's gone off like the past 6 months on Hasbro and how bad it's doing, and you know, I've seen a lot of those videos, and it's really concerning. If you are a player though, you're probably really happy that a lot of these cards are now obtainable and a lot of the cards have come down in price. But if you are an investor, which is what we're talking about, this is really concerning because you don't know what Hasbro is going to do in the future. They can do anything right now. No one knows what they're going to do, and they haven't really done well in terms of calming everyone, and a lot of people are still upset. I know a lot of stores are also scared. They're not sure what they're gonna do, because thing is, Magic is doing a lot of promotions on direct to consumer, which is like, well, what are you gonna do if you're an LGS store if people can just buy it on Amazon? I don't know. Magic, they had a really good formula going, and then this past year, I don't know what happened, and maybe it's the midlife crisis. Pokemon's almost there. We'll see what happens. Don't know what the future holds. When it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh, if you didn't know, I started Yu-Gi-Oh a long time ago. I did Pokemon when I was a little kid, had a lot of good memories with that, and then when I started to grow up a bit, teenage years, I moved into Yu-Gi-Oh just because I love the artwork, the mechanics of the game worked, and I did a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, and honestly, if I could go back, I'd probably wish that I'd done Pokemon instead. The thing about Yu-Gi-Oh is it's very, very heavily skewed towards players. Not to say there aren't collectors that buy sealed product and buy cards, but a lot of cards in Yu-Gi-Oh, and this is like personal experience as well, a lot of cards in Yu-Gi-Oh, they get reprinted, and the way that Yu-Gi-Oh works is that they work off of a ban list. So all cards are basically playable as long as it's not on the ban list or limited list. You can play it, and that is a little concerning because that opens the door for reprints. Meaning, if Yu-Gi-Oh says, hey, this is the new meta, oh, we don't have a lot of this card, let's go ahead and reprint it in the new meta, it's going to cause a lot of price fluctuations. Obviously, investments are going to go down, and honestly, personal experience, like for example, when I was heavy into Yu-Gi-Oh, my favorite card that I was chasing was Fantastical Dragon Phantasme. I'm sure you guys have heard of that card. It was over $100 when it first came out. It was like the new thing, and like it had such a strong effect, and that was my chase. And I bought so many boosters opening, trying to find that card, and I finally did. I got 2 of them, one unlimited and one first edition. And what happened? Well, it got reprinted again and again, and now its price, even though it is like a first edition card, its price sunk down to like what, $10-$20 when it used to be like over 100, close to 200. Being an investor in that, it's just kind of like, ouch. Just one example of Yu-Gi-Oh! It is heavily player based. There is a lot of price fluctuations depending upon what's on the ban list, and you can see cards skyrocket out of nowhere, and then you can see cards drop substantially once a reprint is announced. So that's the thing about investing in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a lot of risk, and there's another reprint of some of the oldest sets. They're in Unlimited. They're 25-year, I believe. This year, they're doing reprints of Metal Raiders, Legend of Blue Eyes, Spell Rulers, Invasion of Chaos, Unlimited, but that's going to cause a lot of price fluctuations. I mean, if you are a player, you're probably really happy because now you can get what, Mirror Force Unlimited from, was it Metal Raiders? I don't know. It's been too long, but you get what I'm saying. I don't know what's going to happen with the prices once these reprints come out. They tried the past couple of years to bring out special collector items. So you have the, so right here, this is one pack magic right here. So you got the, I think this is the Starlight Rare, right? Let me double check. Yeah, still got it. Starlight Rare, and Trish was one card that I chased so hard back then. Opened so many tins, so many boosters, pulled like 3 of them. Got banned, price dropped substantially because there was like an infinite loop that you could do with its effect. But then they brought it back as a Starlight, and I actually one pack magic this and got it, and just it's been in this case ever since. They've come out with stuff like this to help the collector side, but it's still not enough. They are very heavily player based. They will reprint as much as they want. There's no limitations. When it comes to Pokemon, you'll see that they have a really good system. I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen in the future. Could have a midlife crisis like Magic did, and they do some huge change or something, or maybe Scarlet and Violet causes some huge change. I'm not sure, but what I can tell you is right now they have a really, really good system. Right now they have like a phase out. So basically sets from certain eras start getting phased out. So right now we're about to phase out, I believe, Sword and Shield base, Rebel Clash, Vivid Voltage. So all those are going to get phased out. And what happens to sets when they get phased out by Pokemon? Well, they now belong to the collectors. They are collectors and investors' property now, because one, players can't touch it. Why would they need to? They can't. In the standard format, can't play these cards anymore, so why would you need it? And demand goes up because people know that these things are phasing out, so they try to buy more, and supply dwindles obviously because they're done printing it and people want to buy more of it. So that's why Pokemon is unique in that sense. And I can't think of any example, any TCG that's had a card reprinted so many times. You look at Charizard, it's been reprinted to death. Yes, the numbers change on the year. Yes, maybe a little special stamp here, or maybe a little, I don't know, different foil. But it's been reprinted since the dawn of time. And the reason why investors and collectors don't care is because, one, we're normalized to it. Everyone's like, oh, it's a different card. It's totally different from the previous. And two, it's usually not even tournament legal, so there's really no implications. It's just for collectors. And I think this is kind of the thing that Magic was trying to do, but a lot of people didn't receive it well. Where us as investors and collectors in Pokemon, we're used to it. It's been reprinted to death. However, we know that intrinsically it is different than any other card that's been reprinted. And that's why it holds its value. You look at Pokemon cards, once a set is done printing, the value holds because now it's in the hands of investors and collectors. And that's why I love Pokemon. Their system works very, very well for players and collectors alike, which is really beneficial when you're trying to invest in it, because you know that the prices will remain the same generally. So you probably see some fluctuations, but for the most part, it's been pretty good. Like, it's been a solid investment. It just appreciates so well with time. And that's why I love Pokemon. You think about it, who in their right mind doesn't have all the cards they need from Evolving Skies? Like, who's buying all these Evolving Skies? It's the investors. Obviously, it's all investors that are buying Evolving Skies. Sure, you probably get like a small population of people that are buying it to rip, but majority of people that are buying it right now are investors, because they anticipate that the price is going to continue going up. Pokemon will probably do a small reprint of some sort, maybe 2 reprints, but the market, like we've done the past year, they absorb it very well. Like, they've reprinted Evolving quite a lot, and the market just absorbs it. Like, oh, thanks, and it's back up to almost $300 a booster box. Again, with any investment, there's always a risk. I'm not sure if Pokemon will change anything in the future. I think their system works, and I think they're going to continue doing it. You never know what could happen. Scarlet and Violet's going to be very interesting, because I'm not sure what that's going to do with older sets. There's a rumor going around that it's going to stop printing of other sets. I don't know if that's the case, but you never know what's going to happen. Things are changing, and right now is a really good time to be in it. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. I will see you in the next one. Love you all. Peace.